welcome once more to a rather windy Sydney Harbour, overcast day, and another day's racing for the 18-foot skiffs. And today we have two races, heats 5 and 6 of the Spring Championship. There'll be windward-leeward courses, 3 lappers, so plenty of in store. And I'm Peter Shipway, and on behalf of the Sale Media team, we welcome you all. And to give us an overview of the weather, we say good afternoon to Andrew Buckland.
Afternoon, all viewers. Thanks, Pete. Just synoptic situation, a low to the south of us, sort of forming up down towards Melbourne, so 500 miles away or so, resulting in prefrontal north-northeast gradient wind. Looks like it's steadied into about 14 knots, Pete. Ebb tide, bumping it up a bit.
So all skiffs on their number 2 rig, we believe?
That's correct.
And we bring in Jimmy Bury. Jimmy, good afternoon to you. Just run us through the course today and what we can expect.
G'day, Pete. Yeah, it's 3 boys short course. So had a bit of a look up the track, and they've laid the marks. Like we're down near Shark Island, about 1.1 nautical mile up the harbour towards the western wedding cake. We spotted the marks, so all to play for there. I think running out tide, isn't it, Bucko? So yeah, we're nice and lumpy towards the end of the day.
She's a race to Bradley's Head, and there will be lump and bump indeed. So Jimmy, interesting though, isn't it? The beat 1.1, so just a little bit over half length from the normal first beat in the normal race course.
Yep.
So the premium on guys that can turn the corners. Yep.
Oh, absolutely. Like speaking to Dougie earlier on when before he left to go lay the marks, he was saying he was going to try and put the turning marks a lot closer together, obviously being half the length of a normal course. So, and then yeah, we got to turn around and do it all again for the second. So I'll reserve my pick of the podium until the second race.
Well, it's going to be hard work for all the crews today, no doubt about that. 2 races, and the breeze starting to spike up here. We're just down and off Double Bay in Clark Island area, as we're watching the Rag and Famish, who put a pretty impressive performance. It's a new boat, the last 2 races. Harry Price, Gus Williams and Harry Halls just jiving there. That's Shark Island in the background. And today's race sponsor is Yandu, and they're racing today for the Chris Webb Trophy. Chris Webb was one of the most famous 18-foot skippers ever in the class in the early 1900s, and he won 4 Australian titles, sailing 3 times in HC Press 2 and once in Australia 3. So a legendary figure amongst 18-foot skiff racing.
And a 45-year career, Peter, which is no mean feat, I would have said back in the day.
No, and a name that will live long in the memories of those that race 18-footers. But a few interesting crew changes today in the driving seats. On Andu, John Winning Jr. or Herman is not well, and so Sevi Jarvan slots back into the skipper's role. So it's a pretty handy replacement, you'd say, a multiple JJ winner. Matt Stenter comes aboard as crew. He was aboard Andu last year when they won the JJs, and Harry Smith, who last year sailed on Noakes Youth, and well-known name in ocean racing circles, the son of Ian Smith. Harry joins the crew today. And on Smeg is Michael Coxon is not sailing, and Mika Lane steps in for him. So a couple of handy replacements, Andrew, on those 2 boats.
Absolutely, Pete, and good to see the quality maintained with stand-in crews. Pete, maybe you should just mention to the viewers the fastest time result from last week, because one of the sort of issues with the 3-boy system is that the handicaps get unwound without actual precision timing. And whilst Smeg sailed a pretty good race to win on handicap, the actual fastest time was taken out by Andu with Evie on the main sheet and Herman on the wood and Sammy Newton in the bow. So good effort from those boys. Rag narrowly behind them by about 15 seconds, and Smeg about a minute in arrears. So just the first signs of favouritism, shall we say, for the Australian title shaping up in favour of Andu and Rag and Famish at this stage.
So Sam Newton not with us. He's over in Dubai racing in the Sail GP regatta that started yesterday and will conclude today. And the Sail GP Australian team didn't have the greatest day, so they've got a lot of work to do to qualify for the three-boat final later tonight, Sydney time. But just to be to clarify how these races work, instead of having a handicap start, all the boats will start together, and the handicap's adjusted by going to different buoys at the windward mark. There's 3 marks that are laid. The closest is a blue mark, and the middle is a white mark, and the furthest is the red mark. So the handicaps are worked out by which mark you go to, and if everything becomes equal, every boat should finish at the same time. Is that going to happen, Andrew, do you think? That's what handicapping's all about.
Never in history.
No, but
Never in history.
that's the theory, though, that they should all finish close together. But we'll see how it goes today.
This little compressed course, such a premium on starting well and such a premium on accurate lay lines into the bottom mark and the top mark in particular.
Just on Lazarus there that was on screen, I wrongly called Keegan was the one that fell off last week off Bradley's when they tacked. It was Marcus that got excited and hooked up to the elastic. Keegan's been copping it all week, and
sorry, Keegs.
he asked me if I could retract my statement.
Correct the record.
So now he's wearing a bright orange rash vest so I can identify him.
Oh, good on him.
And
Good on him.
Got to toughen up.
He started very well last week, Lazarus, in the nor'easter. He was first to Bradley's, and then that drama unfolded. And another boat that lost a man overboard was Yandu. John Winning, Senior, he fell overboard when on the second downwind leg when his hook on his trapeze belt broke. The welding broke, and he decided to part company with the boat, and the boat did a windward skate and fell in on top of everyone. And most unusual when we saw it. I don't think we got it on camera, but we did comment about Yandu capsizing
in the quickest possible fashion.
And I think we may have.
We did get it on
we did
camera.
Get it, okay.
Yeah,
Right.
it's up on the socials.
So it all went very quickly for Yandu, and he was well placed when it happened. But anyway, today's another day. We're still waiting for course signals, start flags to go up. We've got the course signals up, and we're looking at the committee boat there as the kitchen maker goes across the stern, and just waiting now. They're not far away from a start. 2 races today, races 5 and 6 of the Spring Championship. And before we get underway, we might have a look at the point score after 4 races. There we go. We've got Yandu, even though he had that capsize last week. He leads narrowly from the Royal Oak Double Bay 4 Pines. Ilve is 3rd, Shaw and Partners 4th, Smeg 5th, Noakes Youth, who had a very good day last week, they are in 6th spot, Birkenhead Point Marina 7, Burrawang Young Henry's 8th, Lazarus Capital Partners 9, 18-footers Bar and Restaurant 10, as we just hearing the sound signal go for 5 minutes for the first race today, first of 2, 3-buoy handicap race, windward-leeward, 3 laps. And remember, downwind laps, they'll have a gate to go through at the leeward end. You can choose whatever mark you want to go round. You can just see one of the gate buoys there off the bow of the committee boat, and just right down between the 2 flags, the white flag and the course flags, you can just see the starting buoy down there, the black and white check mark. So, Andrew, you've had a look at this line. What are you liking? Which end?
The ebb tide, you're compelled to start at the leeward end, and it's not that simple. And the flow, for the viewers offshore, the flow might be around 1.5 knots today, and just incrementally adding to the apparent wind speed, of course, as well. Current strongest at Bradley's Head itself, more or less.
Okay, so there's 4 minutes, so you'd expect the water to be fairly choppy with an outgoing tide and a reasonably solid nor'easterly breeze. And we're seeing that all down here at the starting line, although there's a few spectator boats around. But so the race to Bradley's, you think, Andrew?
Yeah, mate. And for the viewers, you know, Sydney, the summer's been a bit late arriving, but yesterday felt like summer, and today still feels like summer, even though it's a bit overcast. But the water temperature in the harbour now shaking up towards 20, and the water offshore a little warmer than that, in fact. But
Lord Howe Island, Andrew, quickly, for the temperature.
21.
21, okay, good good observation. So there's the gate at the leeward end, those two white marks. That doesn't come into play for the start.
Yeah.
Starting mark is further to the right as we look down from the drone. It's looking back towards Double Bay and Darling Point. And the breeze, what do we got? 13, 14 perhaps? All skiffs on their number 2 rig.
Yeah, it's going to play a little bit above, but 14, 15 probably, Pete, I'd say. And, you know, a bit of compression against the headland at Bradley, so we'll look forward to a bit of action as they get up there.
It'll feel like a little bit more too, going in, you know, the tide pushing them into it as well. So,
Yep.
you know, little rig's definitely the way to go.
Yep.
The changeover in these is, you know, around the 12, 13 mark.
14, yeah. Yep.
Depending on crew
and
weights.
for the short course, the little rig is easier to get around the corners efficiently, so you do tend to see a better result using slightly smaller rig. Jimmy, I was going to give Sammy Newton man of the match for last week's race, you know, off the Andu, for persuading everybody it was going to be, you know, Little Sail. He's not here today, but the fleet's made its own minds up, I think.
Yep, without a doubt.
We may be watching in Dubai, along with Ian Murray and all the boys over there. We wish the Australian team best of luck later on today. But we're just a minute 50 to go to the start of the first race today. Breeze is good sailing breeze. And today's race for the Chris Webb Trophy. And the race sponsor is Yandu. With 1 minute 35 to go. Grey overcast day in Sydney. Not much traffic out on the course. So it's a pretty good runway, looking upwind.
Pretty humid, air temperature up around 24.
And there's the leeward mark just going out. There's the leeward mark there. You can just see the black and white check. It's the other end of the starting line. The fleet all well back at the moment with 1 minute 15 to go.
Wow.
And the handicaps don't change between races, right, Pete? They stay the same. So, you know, this will give us a good gauge for the second race, is 1 minute.
So,
Okay, there's the fleet all on starboard at the moment.
so Lazarus and Andu probably fighting it out for the pin.
Remember,
Along with Reagan Famish, who would have thunk? All the
Reagan Famish, Harry Price, Gus Williams and Harry Hall have done a pretty good job in the couple of outings they've had so far this year in a new boat. Remembering Smeg with Mick Lane on the helm today with Ricky Bridge and Tom Anderson. And we've got 30 seconds to go. The fleet reasonably well behaved, I think.
And
Smeg's up at the weather end.
the Rag Boys did get a mainsail recut after last week, so
Okay,
we'll expect
Andu.
improvement.
Andu at the leeward end, along with Lazarus just above them.
Balmain, Lazarus, Ragged Famish. At this end, Smeg
10
looking
seconds.
a bit early.
I think they're all going to be a whisker late, so I think we're going to clean
it's going to
start.
be pretty good.
Yeah.
80-footer bar and grill.
Racing. Oh,
Wow, great start from the 18-footers.
18-footer. Gee.
Yeehaw.
Josh
Spot
Marks,
on.
Cam Walker and Paddy Bannon, they just hammered in there and got a ripper.
Yeah.
So we're away. Race 1. Clean start. And we're up to the 3 boys up near the Western Channel pile, and the breeze nice up here. Breeze, Andrew, 15 knots perhaps.
Yep. And a nice little bit of bump.
Okay, Smeg started well in the middle of the line. Andu hammer right down, going hard down at the leeward end. With Sevy Jarvin at the wheel. Matt Stender and Harry Smith. Just working hard to get first to Bradley so they can cross the fleet. Smeg looks strong in the middle, as does Rag and Famish. And Shaw and Partners, they started well up to windward as well. That's them second from the right. As the Kitchemaker got a poor start, they're going back out on port tack. So the boats seem to be, in the right, seem to be lifting quite well. So it's going to be hard for Andu to come back and cross this fleet, I think. Just as I talk now, she has tacked, and that's what she's looking at. Doesn't look too pretty at the moment. I think Sevy's realised that he wasn't doing that well down there, so he's got to take a bit of medicine and come back and probably take a few sterns, although he's taking a few bows there. He's across Lazarus. He'll be behind Smeg.
And he's had to duck the Yandu. So
Yeah,
that's
okay. I think he realised that
not a great
he wanted
result.
to get out there early.
Take the medicine early there.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a big dose. Hey?
Yeah, but you know, we know they got the wheels to get on with it.
Absolutely.
He's cleared himself. He's out to the right-hand side of the course. Balmain Slate with Henry Larkins, Miles Davey and Flynn Toomey furthest to leeward. Then above them, Harry Price in the Rag and Famish.
It's a good little yacht race in the middle here, Pete. Rag, Smeg and Yandu.
The breeze is a little left, so they're nowhere
Yeah.
near laying Bradley's Head. The boats have started down at the leeward end.
And Rag hard left must be close to having to tack.
We've seen a few starting to bail out now. Smegs looks pretty strong in the middle,
Yep.
as does Shaw and Partners with the red streak down his sail.
I think Smeg leads narrowly over Shaw and Partners and Rag and Famish.
All depends on the tack, doesn't it?
Exactly. And
Rag and Famish starting to get into that tricky area now. He's got to get out of there. There he goes.
spectator traffic at the headland. Oh, the Rag got caught in the little catabatic. Really struggling.
Gets the bow down. Gets
And Smeg's gone too far.
Smeg's got to get out of there quickly, I would think.
Yep.
There he goes, but
I think they all seen what happened to Rag.
Rag and
Just about
Famish.
everyone else folded over.
So Shaw and Partners leads, and somebody's fallen off Yandu.
oh,
That would be Fang.
Fangs, what's happened here? Poor old Yandu, he's having men overboard drills.
The Bermuda Triangle, Pete got him.
Anyway, he's up
Strikes
and
again.
going.
So Shaw and Partners leads with a clean slot up to the headland. How about that?
He's just in the breeze that he's not going to suffer too bad under the headland.
No, he's out of the Bermuda Triangle.
He's got really good pressure as he's laying just below the lighthouse at Shark Island. At Bradley's Head.
Yep.
He will tack and come back very shortly. 3, 2, 1. There he goes.
Pretty good. Good tack.
In really nice
So-
left-hand pressure.
He stretched that lead, Pete, to several boat lengths there.
So the fleet all on port tack. Oh,
Except
Smeg.
for that. And that was a hole made in the pressure by the big, whining dining barge.
Yeah, gee, that
Wow.
that hurt him.
Yep.
Hurt him big time.
Go back 3 boat lengths there. Still leading, but
Yep.
Simon Hoffman in the middle there, he'd be nice and fresh. They only did 1 and a bit laps yesterday at Manly before they capsized and another boat speared their bow pole through the mainsail, so that was the end of the day, so he'll be nice and fresh for today.
So there's the 18-footer restaurant. He got the start at the committee boat end. He's hanging in there. And Smeg just off camera, just tacking, coming back on starboard. And to me, it looks like the Rag and Famish is moving pretty well. He's going in towards Shark Island. That's him top of screen.
yeah.
The Smeg's coming back on starboard.
Wow. Good stuff.
So Smeg's lost out a little there.
Man, Woody pushing his luck here on the bricks.
Oh well, not on screen.
Not on screen, sorry,
Shaw and
viewers.
Partner just crossing Smeg now.
And you can see the stood up sea state there.
What have we got? About 12, 13 knots, maybe 14, as Yandu just coming off Bradley's Head.
Yeah, they're comfortably 3 strings, Pete, so it must be virtually 14.
And the Rag and Famish leads, I would think.
Yeah,
That's
it's
it.
got that look about it, hasn't it?
Got that,
Not conclusive yet, but
that bright orange sail insignia.
yeah. So they must have some zip.
And Andu is the one that's dropped right back. It's about 10th or 12th.
I think they might have had a little moment down there,
Well,
Peter.
we didn't see anything happen, but they are a fair way back.
Anyway, travelling here with the mighty Rag, and they're making a pretty good fist of it.
Well, these 3 boys will come into play, don't forget, going up here. The Rag will go to the middle mark first time up.
Just found the marks this here off Steel Point, but from where we are at the moment.
The Smeg, he will go to middle as well.
Aha.
Fisher Pike doing very well up there. Jordan Gertis, he'll go to the closest mark. So He's probably about fourth or fifth, and Balmain, Slake and Shaw and Partners, they went hard right. They're right in on the lighthouse at Shark Island as Rag and Famish tacks. You can see Shaw and Partners off Shark Island. Breeze looks a bit left here. And they're about 2/3 the way up the beat. There's the leading group. It's left is Rag and Famish, then Shaw and Partners, then Balmain, Slake. Yandu's there as well.
So Pete, pretty respectable gains to Rag and Famish on the right edge, which might be accounted for just by less tax and better current. But equally, there must be something through the water with good speed.
So you'd probably say Shaw and Partners is second.
Yep, that's the appearance.
So they both go to the middle of the three marks. There's the cross here between Shaw and Partners with Jim Colley steering, going ahead of John Winning Senior in Yandu, and there's Rag and Famish tacking now to come into the middle mark.
So he's got quite a good lead for a 1 mile beat.
And with the marks not being that far
No,
apart.
they're not. How far apart are they? 40 metres?
Not even, I wouldn't think.
A bit more than that, guys, come on. Yeah, you may be right, maybe only 40 metres.
Yeah, they're relatively close. So,
So the only boat we've got going to the red mark, just so I can position myself, is Sandu, I think, isn't it? So I don't get in anyone else's way.
yeah. So that'll be a big disadvantage. Now there's Smeg. He's come into the picture as well. He'll be second on the water as the Rag and Famish leads.
Fisher Paykel
Around the earlier mark.
Fisher and Paykel is round the closest mark. Birkenhead Point is round as well.
God, that's a quick beat, isn't it, Pete?
Yes, it is. Smeg's around.
7, 8
He did well
minutes.
up there. Mick Lane steering today. Shaw and Partners round. The Royal Oak around. So Fisher Paykel leads from Rag and Famish, Birkenhead, Royal Oak, 18-footers, Smeg's there, Balmain, Slate, Yandu is around the middle mark, and this has really changed the order around, going around this mark. So Jordan Gertis takes the fleet away in towards Bradley's Head, just jibing now with a black spinnaker. So it's a very quick beat. How long was that beat?
7, 8 minutes, Pete.
Yes.
Probably 8, actually.
So we've got 3 beats and 3 runs.
So the run will only be 4 minutes. The pulse rates of the bowman in particular might be getting elevated. Yeah.
What's going on with the Shaw and Partners
He's
there?
got a bit of
tie knot in it.
Oh yeah, somebody's tied a knot.
It's
That's
a
correct.
good knot too. There it just
There you
came
go.
out.
Yeah, these sometimes when you get an older spinnaker, the new spinnakers have not always come out. The older chute just gets enough friction and water in there, it doesn't come out. And then it's an old spinnaker.
Big wobbly jibe here on the Royal Oak, but Fisher Paykel will take the fleet downwind first time. Rag and Famish second, Smeg third. And we're on Shaw and Partners, the Balmain Slake. Shaw and Partners just jibing. So they're all the fleet are in the middle of the track really. They've all majority of jibe. There's the Royal Oak. She did a bit of a wobbly jibe, but things look okay now. Bo Junk steering today with the normal skipper Alex Marinelli and Darcy McCracken, the crew. And still plenty of wind. You can see they're making pretty good progress downwind. So these two, Shaw and Partners, Yandu, are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 6th and 7th. So they all go to the same gate here at the leeward end. You can choose which mark you want to go around, either the right or left. Plenty of wind now. There's the Royal Oak. Okay, they're the three leaders. The Black Spinnaker belongs to Fisher Paykel, then Ragged Famish right of screen, and Smeg left. So Jordan Gurr's got to time his jibe to come back across on starboard.
He goes around that shorter mark, Pete, next time up as well.
Yes.
Jordan, so shaping up all right for him so far.
Okay, his jibe. These two boats hammering down. He hasn't got much pressure now. He's just got rolling. I think the Ragged Famish will jibe just before he gets there. There he goes. So it's now a sprint into this gate. Smeg jibes as well. So it's a race in three at the moment to the leeward marks. And the Ragged Famish doing a good job getting down across the bow of Fisher Paykel here. Which mark we go to here, Andrew?
I think the one to the west.
Yes, the right hand looking downwind, I think. Yep. But they're all above it, I think. They're not laying down.
So a bit of fancy manoeuvring here, ladies and gentlemen. A couple of quick jibes.
Yeah, we could have a bit on here.
Yep. The rag's setting up to do a jibe.
Fisher Paykel trying to soak. Here goes the rag.
And you really can't do that. The rag, completed jibe, and then a pressure jibe drop. This will be pretty cool.
Okay, Fisher Paykel will get down there. Okay, here goes the rag.
Harry Hall in the bow.
Working overtime. Those boys looks pretty polished.
Yeah, that's pretty cool
Yeah,
stuff.
it's pretty good.
And they're cosy. Gussie Williams in the middle, just pulling the jib in, as well as the main sheet, one in each hand.
All three boats did very well there. Fisher Paykel second, Smeg a boat length behind.
Smeg a bit tidier than Fisher and Paykel, unable to put the bow down and hammer away. So,
okay, then next, most boats seem to be going to this same mark. Birkenhead,
I've been listening to
Point
us,
Marina.
Peter.
Kirk Mitchell at the helm will be next around, except Yandu's decided to bail out and go to the left-hand mark looking downwind. Can't see him at the moment. Here comes the cavalry into this mark, Royal Oak.
The peloton, Peter, perhaps.
Yep.
Plenty of overlaps of various kinds.
Orange, Spinnaker, Balmain, Slate, the Royal Oak, and then Shaw and Partners. Yandu's the only one that's gone to the left-hand mark. Now Lazarus is following him around.
Not a bad plan for Yandu, though, Pete.
Yes, clear air. Yeah.
And, okay, going the wrong way, but clear air. And
There's not much traffic on the harbour as well to deal with, so...
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's the Burrowang Hotel. Simon Nern's around. Then Andu did quite well. He had to go to the furthest mark. Sevy's got himself back into the mix. Oh, the 18-footer, Barn Restaurant, little
Very wobbly.
They're around.
Sev's got plenty to do, though, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. Kitchen makeup.
And it's tough rounding behind the pack here. It's been such a one-way track, you almost have to go to Bradley's.
I don't mind what Woody's done that's not on screen, just sort of go over to Point Piper, flip over, and you almost clear or get to the reef there at Bradley's.
Oh, yeah, no.
Got good clear air, you're right, Jimmy.
Almost compulsory to do what he did in the situation he was in, but
Yeah.
So the last two round are Lazarus Youth and
Noakes Blue. The guest bowman on there.
is Noddy Hay.
Noddy reliving his youth.
Yep.
In the
Okay.
bow.
The fleet have gone off on. Most of them went to the same mark, the right-hand mark looking downwind. And then hauled on starboard and off towards Bradley's Head. But the rag will lead. And Yandu, who went to the left-hand mark, doesn't look that strong. Smeg has tacked early. There's Fisher Paykel. She was second around the mark. They're now on port tack.
just a little bit more wind than the first beat, Pete.
What have we got, 15? 15, touching 16 perhaps?
Yeah, bits of 16 here now.
Plenty of wind. Andu coming across. Sevi Jarvan at the wheel.
Nice low hooks there.
Yeah, beautiful. Yandu's done okay. He went to the other mark, the left-hand mark, went out on port, then tacked. He's got a long starboard to come in. He'll be about 5th on the water. The other boat that's done well is Kirk Mitchell in Birkenhead. He's got himself up to 3rd on the water. He's crossing ahead of Smeg.
All the young Drummoyne boys there on the Birkenhead. I believe you had a note sent to you by Chapo.
I did indeed. Extensive background. We've renamed the boat. Birkenhead Point should be renamed the 3 Shipwrights.
The 3 Shipwrights.
Yeah. And I said they should trade one of the shipwrights for a sailmaker, but there you go.
Anyway, plenty of wind here now. It's plenty of whitecaps looking upwind.
Pete, you're a bit tricked, I think, also
Tight
by
against
the
wind.
amount of powerboat wake as well.
Yeah, but tight against wind as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So what do we got this time? Rag and Famish will go to the middle mark again.
Birkenhead to the middle.
Fisher Paykel
And Fisher Paykel to the closest.
Yandu will go to the middle. And Smeg will go to the furthest. So disadvantage Smeg.
Yeah.
As he punches off the Bradley's Head shore, the eastern side of Bradley's Head. Just going to try and come across. There's Yandu tacking underneath Smeg.
Good stuff here. Travelling with Yandu.
That's top left is the Rag. Fisher Paykel 2nd. Smeg 3rd. And Birkenhead's in the mix down on Shark Island. There's Fisher Paykel and the Rag and Famish. There's Lazarus coming into the foreground. He's about 7th. Marcus Ashley Jones at the helm of Lazarus.
And Keegan doing a good, Keegan York on the main sheet until he gets his new boat. So filling in, usually on the stick of the Finport Finance.
We said he was saying to me, he goes, "There's no way it was me that fell in because I don't like sharks."
There you go.
So what happens when you capsize, mate?
Oh. Oh.
There's the race leader, Rag and Famish. Things will equal up when they go around these marks, because they go to the middle mark. Fisher Paykel, who's on about 40 metres astern, they'll go to the closest mark. There's the distance. 3 boys in off Steel Point. There's plenty of wind here again. The sun comes out on the harbour. Got a good 15 knots now. Okay, Fisher, Rag and Famish not far off attack. It's probably about another 5 seconds. Oh, there he goes. He'll be set up on the lay line for the middle mark.
So he's going to lead pretty comfortably, Pete, even after the unwind.
Yeah. Yes. There's enough breeze now to really make a difference downwind. Nice lay, good easy lay.
Yeah, a bit comfy, but good enough.
Yep, that's the mark he's going to, but there's the mark just to leeward of his mainsail leech.
Good
So
stuff.
he's the jib now. Round he goes. And
Yeah, Yahoo.
And
Oh,
Never in doubt.
fantastic. It never fails to impress even this old skip sailor.
Yeah.
The bear away at full noise.
He will have a very good lead because Fisher Paykel's going to the shortest mark. He's still not around, but the rag's got his spinnaker up. There's Fisher Paykel just going round now, off camera.
Oh, and in bumpy water
He's
too,
at a screamer too.
Yeah.
Oh, there he is. So he's around.
Not that easy on these boats. The bear away, the acceleration is pretty significant, and
And there'll be some good action here at this weather mark, no matter which one you're going around. It's
More
Kirk
puff,
Mitchell
Pete.
next in Birkenhead. Really
Ease.
good puff.
Ooze, boys, ooze. How about these
There he
boys?
goes, and then there's a 2 litres are off. Oh, there's good action at the middle mark. Oh, Smeg just squeezing Yandu out. Oh, Yandu's going to in all sorts of trouble here. He's got to do 2 tacks.
He's going to the other mark.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, I see. This is the furthest mark.
The Smeg's in strife.
Oh,
Oh,
what did
Oh,
Yandu
boys.
do? He was going to the middle mark.
oh.
Yandu, massive overlay there.
Get the wheels back on it, boys. The Smeg.
They were both meant to be going to the middle mark.
Yes.
So they both went to the windward mark.
On the information we've got, that's what was happening.
Yeah, maybe.
Confusion.
Okay, there goes Andu around the furthest mark. Balmain Slake inside them.
Just enough wind now. The handling's now quite difficult with the amount of water roughness.
It's all happening, as they say. It's all
Yeah.
happening. Rag and Famish leads. It's the second of 3 runs downwind. Balmain Slake and Andu. Ahead of them are the Red Spinnaker Shore and Partners. There'll be some tired boys tonight. They've got another race to do after this. It's Andu just trying to get on top of Balmain Slake.
The short courses are almost harder than long courses because it's more intense. You know, like when sometimes these guys are just going a longer tackle, just have a bit of a breather. You don't get that opportunity in the short course.
No, I can tell you, Jimmy, the heart rate of the 2 sail handlers in this short course format, in this amount of wind, does not go back to normal.
No.
She's up around the 140s.
Bit of action here, just the eastern end of Bradley's Head. Shore and Partners going right in. Andu will have to jibe any moment. There goes Sevi. And there goes Jim Colley on the Shore and Partners.
The Andu making it look pretty easy.
That was a very nice jibe.
Matty Stenner just added hard. Good show.
That's
But
wonderful.
they've got themselves back up to Smeg there, Pete, almost, the Andu.
A couple of good jibes. They rolled over Shore and Partners there.
Meanwhile, right down the bottom, the leaders are around. Dragon Famish
He's
just
almost capsized down at the leeward mark, but he saved it. Anyway, we're on Smeg. Currently in 7th position, Smeg.
Interestingly there, Fisher Paykel to the right-hand mark. Dragon Famish went the left-hand mark.
Yeah.
I think, Timmy, the ragged famish is espousing the less tax theory to some degree. They keep it simple, stupid.
Okay, so Rag was first round through the gate. Fisher Paykel second. Now Birkenhead will be third. Drop their spinnaker. And just right up their exhaust pipe, it'll be Lazarus. And then Thundering is in his Royal Oak. Lazarus gets inside Birkenhead. Oh, plenty of wind here. Oh, the Royal Oak and a bit wobbly. Got to get the spinnaker down. Andew's coming in with a bit to do with a white spinnaker.
Sensationally good judgment from the Andew boys, though. Perfect.
Harry Smith's got to work overtime here.
All good. Nearly done. Oh. Yep. Got the dial up done in a rough kind of serviceable fashion. Oh, not too bad.
The other mark, there's a bit happening. As we watch Andew go upwind. Still about 15, 16 knots. There's, Shaw and Partners around. They went to left-hand mark.
Your favourite thrill seekers out there, Pete, the Burrowang coming in. Very awkward lay line they picked. We're going to do a pressure jive drop at the other mark. I don't know. I'm not sure about that. No, he's going to do a conventional inliner. And
there's Noakes Youth going, trying to get around.
Oh, the Burrowang, what are they doing?
Oh, Burrowang, here she comes.
Oh, Jesus.
Rhys Cleary in the bow this week. The old timer, he's got to work overtime. He'll be sore boy tonight. They've gone well past the leeward gate. So we're upwind for the last time in the first race today for the Chris Webb Trophy. 2 races, another one after this. It's the Burrowang. Got a bit things bit untidy there. Okay. That's the scene looking upwind. How much wind have we got here, Andrew? 15?
Yeah, I'd say 15, 16. Sort of mid-range for this rig, 16.
So Rag and Famish goes to the furthest mark this time. And Fisher Paykel goes to the middle. So I think Rag's got enough up his sleeve to wipe off that deficit of going to the longest mark. He's a clear leader now. He's really smoking up off Bradley. Just seeming to the east of Bradley's head. It's Fisher Paykel coming across on port. With the just covering, going to cover the lighthouse of Bradley's. And Yandew's got himself into about 4th spot. Smeg at 5th or 6th. Lazarus going across there, he is 3rd. Yandew would be 4th. Birkenhead 5th, Smeg. And then Andew.
Andew in contact with Smeg now, so they've advanced quite a bit.
They're getting his act together now, Andew. He's Sevi Jarvan steering today.
Man, there's plenty on in that team, though, isn't there, Pete? With between that boat and the 100-footer, it's a big commitment. Good on, though, for having a crack. For the viewers offshore, the 90-mile race started yesterday here in Sydney and convincingly won by
Blackjack.
But the little boat suffered in pretty light air overnight and finished in 24 hours for 90 miles to give you a feel for the average wind speed. But good result for a couple of the short-handed boys. Got first and second in Division 2 IRC.
Birkenhead on laying into Shark Island. And then just ahead of them is Lazarus. Lazarus, where do they go? Do they go to the furthest mark as well? So majority of the first leading group either go to the longest mark or the middle mark. 1, 2, 3. Geronimo Harrison, Keegan York and Marcus Ashley Jones. You'll see coming across on port, way in the distance.
There they are.
Is, the Rag and Famish. They've opened up a very nice lead over Fisher Paykel. Oh, a bit bumpy water here for the Birkenhead boys to tack in.
Still, pretty good tack, considering that.
Yep. Nice clear runway for Rag now. He's got to go round the furthest mark and then the run to the finish. Probably a little easier said than done in this breeze. But they've got a really good lead. Streaks of good pressure rolling down the harbour. So he's not quite to the lay line yet, not far off it. Getting close to it. There they go. Red. There's a cruising yacht with just a mainsail
And a diesel topsail, Peter, I suspect.
could make things a bit interesting.
No, he's all right. He got
They'll just get through. The yacht will get through.
good VMG on the diesel
Yep.
topsail, mate.
Nice ley line.
Just see if we can get a look here at the Rag and Famish rig setup. They did have a luff curve redone, they told me. Still looks a bit odd down low. It's not brand new. Obviously going through the water pretty well.
They're
Nice.
about 3 boat lengths from the mark. And about 16 knots of northeasterly breeze. And the run to the finish for the first race today. Job done. Good performance.
Yeah. They've mostly made it look pretty easy, haven't they?
They sure have. Fisher Paykel will be second. They go to the middle mark. And Lazarus and Yandu, who are third and fourth, they go to the furthest mark. So it's be a nice little jump for Fisher Paykel here. But all eyes on the race leader. Okay, Fisher Paykel now, second. That's the middle mark.
Having a bit of trouble getting the bow down. There he goes.
Oh. Milson Park in the background. Not too many people swimming today. It's a grey overcast day in the harbour. Now they have full wick here, running into the Bradley's Head shore. So behind them, Fisher Paykel second, Yandu third, Smeg fourth, Andu fifth. Or that'd be Lazarus fourth, I think. Let's have a look. There we go. There's Fisher Paykel, Yandu with the white spinnaker to the right, in the middle with the white spinnaker, just to get it set as Lazarus. And there's Andu. In comes Birkenhead and Smeg. Bound for the finish is the Rag and Famish, Harry Price, Gus Williams and Harry Hall. Very clinical performance, this one.
And we can report that the camera cat is adjacent at 25 knots, and we are barely going. So just a bit of foot cheer from the drone.
See how empty the harbour is, and not too many pleasure boats out today. What a great shot that is. Is looking back at a very windy harbour now. Fisher Paykel hanging into second place, just trying to get through a few waves. Oh, there's a few boats capsized, you can see in the background. That Noakes is not in play, just went across in front of Fisher Paykel.
Ragged Famish laying down to the committee boat. They will not need to jive. Look at that.
One and in, I think.
Or maybe they're going to do a little
Yeah, they will.
to the favoured end.
There they go. So that's a very clear-cut win to Fisher Paykel.
Give us.
Okay, there we go. Job done.
Come down.
Very, very good effort, as we said, from those boys. Look very strong, both up and downwind. So the Rag and Famish wins the first race today. We've got another one to go, but it'll be a little while before we get this underway because there's a few stragglers. And Fisher Paykel fighting hard to hang on to second place. I think they should do it. Fast finishing Yandu and Lazarus.
And Noakes Blue, Pete.
Noakes Blue are getting lapped.
Oh, they're getting lapped, sorry.
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Pay
they might
attention.
just come in and
007.
go for the finish.
Fisher Paykel will be still, well, perhaps he'll do one more jibe and come in. And, oh, no,
might
I think
just
he'll just
straight
keep
run it.
going, I think. Oh, Fisher Paykel gets a really good clout there. No, he'll be there. He's okay. So, Yandu fighting in hard. So Fisher Paykel second. Yandu will be third, and Lazarus. So a strong performance by Yandu again to consolidate his lead in the point score, the Spring Championship point score. Lazarus then coming in fifth will be Andu.
And that's a pretty good effort from them too. Off the back mark.
Yep.
Absolutely right.
And then Shaw and Partners
And
sixth.
a slightly troubled first beat too, Jimmy. Yeah.
Seeing they sail longer than anyone else, Andu. The Shaw and Partners sixth. And Smeg seventh. And a good go here for eighth between Balmain, Slake and...
Does that Balmain Slake look like they got their number one spinnaker on the number two rig there? Looks awfully big and very difficult to fill.
And hard to trim.
And,
I'd have to have a look at that.
the Royal Oak gets across in front of them, so they're eighth, the Royal Oak. Balmain Slake ninth.
Noakes Youth just blew their spinnaker up. We're just getting around to it. There they are.
Oh, that's not good. That's slow. I can vouch for that. That is very slow. Oh,
It's a rubbish bin job, isn't it, Bucko?
Well, their day is probably over. As
Very problematic. Hard to get it back on board and hard to put it back together.
80-foot bar and restaurant still coming down as the kitchen maker.
I've seen the 18-footers bar and restaurant. I'm sure that's them off Bradley's Head without a rudder, Pete.
Oh, okay. And I'll tell you who's got lost is Birkenhead. I don't know where they ended up. That might have been the boat we saw capsized.
I've got them just off the channel marker, the channel divider off Bradley's there.
Bradley, so they've obviously had a capsize. They were well positioned.
Oh, yeah, they were sailing really well.
Yeah. That's the kitchen maker doing that. Just poor old Noakes has got the now capsized, just tipping in now. Burrowang, kitchen maker, is he finishing or is he retiring? Because he's not going through the finishing line.
Oh, the kitchen maker looks as if they're calling it a day.
Yeah. Burrowang will be next in 10th. So a bit of carnage here towards the end of this first race.
Yeah, Pete, enough wind and just enough water bump to make life pretty uncomfortable.
So that's the top 10. And I think there's only... there's Birkenhead still to come. She's got about 200 metres from the finishing line.
Burrowang swimming.
The Burrowang did get across, but has now fallen over.
Felt tired and in need of a bit of a lie down.
Oh, Beck's and a lie down.
Yeah, Beck's. A cup of tea, Jimmy. A cup of tea, yes. Yes. Wow. Okay, so Pete, the margin there, the Reagan Famish won on handicap by 1:20, so which indicates so perhaps 5 or 6 minutes faster around the track than Fisher and Paykel. So 5 or 6 minutes in a 30-minute race. Not even 30, 40-minute race, I guess. Yeah.
Yep, impressive, no doubt.
So,
Just watching the tail end Charlie's come in, Birkenhead
probably more than 10%.
will be 11th.
No, I'll be disappointed with that, Pete.
Saw greatness and ran from it.
Well, they were up early on, and I think they must have perished on the last downwind leg.
Well, Pete, we've noted that they've got the capability to get a good first beat, but they don't seem to have more than one good lap in them. So that's just a little bit of a repeat today again. That they good first lap and couldn't perform at the same level for the second and third lap. And it's a good demanding test, as the viewers would see, that there's not much time between attacks and there's not much time between the jibes.
So I don't think there's any more to finish, is there, Jimmy? I can't see anyone.
Pete,
Oh,
the
except
only
that
one.
Noakes.
Noakes youth. They get it up, just go through the line, get the points for the overalls. That's probably it.
But,
as I said, the
their day's probably
18-footers
over.
bar and restaurants rudderless off Bradley's Head. So.
So what's this breeze going to do, Andrew? Going to hang in for the second race?
Yeah, it might. It will change in structure a little, but I don't expect it to build.
Change its structure.
Yeah, it's sort of cooling down, Jimmy, isn't it? You know, so this changes the behaviour of the boundary layer a bit. So Shore Partners going for a practice beat here, eh?
They might have, just play with a few settings, Bucko, and just testing them.
Yep. So
Okay, we're just waiting now for the start of the second race today. And probably just waiting for a few stragglers to sort themselves out before we can get underway. The burrowing's still upside down near the starting line.
Well, I think the committee will get into signals reasonably promptly here, Pete. You can never have all the boats upright when it's windy, do you? You wait for them all to be upright, you might be waiting until tomorrow morning. So I think the committee will get into it. So Jimmy, the record for the shortest legs, 18-footer event was a Grand Prix, pro circuit event held in the river at Fremantle, in the port at Fremantle, where the leg length was about 600 metres.
Yep.
And one day we had a course where the breeze had rotated 90 degrees, 3 two-sail reaches with the heart rate, I can tell you, right off the chart. And, people getting into full...
Did you win?
Lactic acid aerobic deficit. Well, they eventually abandoned after we nearly all piled into the seawall on the Giant. Cubby Darnett was leading at the time. There you go.
Well, those races back then, they were designed to go for 18 minutes and that was it.
That's
so
right.
It was just a target time.
Yeah. Just
run at it.
Yeah.
Well, Yandu maintains his consistency, which with the third, so that'll stand him in good stead for the point score.
That's good enough, and if Fang Warren can stay on board for the second race, they might do a little bit better even, eh?
I reckon you should go have a chat with him in the bar afterwards, Bucko. I'll leave it with you to have the chat.
I'll make a phone call. Yeah, whose turn is it? Oh, it must be Josh's. Josh is pretty short-footed, though. Don't see him fall off too often, I don't think.
So we're just standing by for the second race today, which will be the 6th heat of the Spring Championship. Racing today for the Chris Webb Trophy.
We're getting a bit of cheery signalling from one of the support guys on the ferry, holding a nice cold beer and informing us that his bet that he placed on a certain boat was successful. First race. Australia, mate, we can bet on 2 flies climbing up the wall, can't we?
Once Andu got into his stride in that race, he was pretty impressive, but he got a bit lost that first beat, didn't he?
No, I think he had trouble tacking, Pete. I think he got into irons tacking the second tack of the race. He went too close to Bradley's and then he got into irons the next tack, and that's a difficult thing to come back from. We'd expected he would be matching Rag and Famish boat for boat with their line-up today.
Well, let's see how he goes in this race.
Exactly.
It's going to be another good windward beat up towards Steel Point, Nielsen Park. We're just still waiting for signals for the start, and we've still got Noakes upside down. That's the Noakes youth team. Are they waiting for her? She won't have a spinnaker. She ripped that coming towards the finish, so, and then she capsized. So I don't know whether they will continue. We think the kitchen maker went home.
She's still out here.
The breeze certainly hasn't got any stronger. It's still a good 12 to 14 knots.
Yeah, I think it's just by the road behind us.
I think you'd find it might have softened a little bit, Pete. It's actually turned back to the right a little bit as well, I think.
So maybe just hearing the kitchen maker might not have gone home. She's back out again, so that's good. We're just watching a little 29, I hear, is it? Just coming downwind.
Yep.
We believe that's Ben Crawford and his crew Jacob Marks, who get out each Sunday and try and mix it with the 18-footers. Ben's the son of Carl Crawford, who well known in Sydney yachting circles. just finished.
They finished the race just as we were leaving Middle Harbour. They were pulling into the dock, so
After the
long
Bird
night.
Island race,
after Bird Island. So
A big day out for Carl and his cooks, and
long night on the sail exchange.
Yeah, they finished in 3rd place in their division. And Carl's son Ben's a pretty committed young sailor. He gets out as much as he can. Okay, well, there's the kitchen maker back with us.
Have you put the kettle on, Bucko?
I'm freezing the ice cubes and putting the kettle on, if that's all right.
Okay, we could be getting close to a start. You can see the committee vessel there. The officials getting ready to hoist the 5 flags, which will signify 5 minutes to go. Be the same course, 3 buoys. No change to the order at which you go round, is there? They're just...
No, it's all the same.
Same. So the rag, got a slightly shorter track than the Andu. 2 minutes of theoretical advantage by 2 shorter buoys. Must be coming to 1 minute or something, maybe 2 more minutes before they put the signals up.
So if you just joined us, and we hope you're enjoying this coverage brought to you by Sail Media. Had 1 race already today, which was won by Rag and Famish. Fisher Paykel was 2nd, Yandu 3rd, Lazarus 4th, and Andu 5th. It's a 3-buoy handicap race and a 3-lapper, and that's exactly what we're doing for the 2nd race. As we're looking at poor old Noakes' youth upside down, or on its side anyway. Probably having trouble getting that spinnaker sorted out. They completely blew it out. And so,
yeah, it looked like it was a result of a catch on the spreader, a tear across the middle of the chute.
About that height, isn't it? Wasn't
Yep, exactly.
they're just drifting downwind towards the starting line.
Yeah, but I think they'll be going straight home, Pete. Not much point is... I mean, you could have a practice beat, sure, but...
Pole the jib out downwind, Bucko.
Well, you might, yes.
Just run square and pole it out.
No worries, that's a proven technique, isn't it? Yes.
Smeg above the committee boat. Remembering today, Mick Lane is at tiller with Ricky Bridge and Tom Anderson. And we're just off camera, just on 20 metres up from the committee boat is the Noakes youth getting themselves untangled.
Oh, jib's still in the cleat.
And the starting flags are up, the signals are up. We've got 4 minutes 45.
So no change in anything. The gate has been left in, the pin end is the same place, and the marks we are actually assuming but believe that they're as they were. So
Plenty value for money today with another race in good breeze.
slightly diminished fleet for the 2nd running, Peter, eh?
Sam Monkhouse in the middle there on Fisher Paykel.
Jordan Gertis, they did a fine job to get 2nd. Famous name in 18-foot skiff sailing, Monkhouse.
Still sails the skiff at St George by the same name, Shippo. So
What is Tagara?
Tagara.
Right, yeah. Well, that was Cliffy Monkhouse, of course. Former JJ champion, or world champion as they called it then. Is the race winner from the first race today. And 3 minutes 20 to go.
Let's see if the Andu can chuck down a challenge if they come out of the blocks. And they would have learned a fair bit. The breeze a little odd up to Bradley's the first time. Not quite standard fare.
No. So Where were we starting, Andrew? Committee boat, do you think? Committee to middle?
Well,
Committee to middle, do you think?
Mid-line paid
Yeah.
last time, didn't it? That's
Yes.
whatever I suggested.
Yeah. Hammer down in the middle, I think. That's where I'm going for.
Oh, you can take over as tactician, Pete. Fair enough.
And wind her up back at the skiff club and let her rip. 2 minutes 45. That's us there in the blue boat. That's our camera cat. The ferry above us and the committee boat right bottom of screen. 2 minutes and a half, 2:30 to go. And who wants the pin? No one's desperate to get down there at this stage, but early days to go. 2 minutes 20. And there's hardly any boats between the start line and the weather mark, so it's a good clear harbour now. Grey overcast day. Little or no sun. We had rain earlier around lunchtime, just a couple of mil perhaps at best. After so much rain that we've had over the past month or three here in Sydney and all of New South Wales, to that extent most of Australia. But we're concentrating here, minute 40. And
Andu and Yandu at the windward boat end, and Smeg and Reagan Famish are lining up for the midline sort of start, it appears.
yeah, that's where I am. I'm in the midline, bucko, and going for it.
And you've been recruited to steer the Reagan Famish, have you, Pete?
Oh, I'd give it a go. Don't know how long it'd last. Okay, Smeg's starting to nibble its way down towards the leeward end.
Pete, if you could get it to the start line, it'd be a great effort. Okay?
Oh, that's a nice wrap. Jeez. Well, you wouldn't be on the sheet, that's for sure. A minute to go. A minute to go. They're stacked up here at the weather end. They were well behaved in the first start.
So, Pete, the
first
breeze,
race.
the breeze turned left and softened a little.
Is that
actually.
Andu? What's happening to Andu?
The breeze has swung a little and they're all struggling to make the line.
Yeah.
Struggling to make the pin.
Rag and Famish has bailed back out too.
The pin,
Andu and Rag and Famish are both bailed out to come up.
They're all
higher.
going to be late. Oh, 35 to go.
they're pretty good.
They're well behaved. Where did Rag and Famish end up? Okay, the weather. They're going to be committee boat favoured. No, a bit of yelling. That's good. Yandu is buried down there. Here we go. 20 seconds. Ooh, Fisher, Rag and Famish. Andu's done another tack to get out of there. He must want this windward end.
Jeez, he doesn't muck around, does he?
Just under 10 seconds. Oh, we clear. I think we're going to be 4, 3, 2, 1. You're clear start.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, Andu wanted the committee boat, that's for sure. He did a couple of little tacks away to make sure he won the committee boat. Rag and Famish are
I think
strong.
there's a bit of a race in a race, Pete, with Andu and Rag and Famish.
Yeah.
Couple of tacked on to port. Fisher Pike got a very, very ordinary start, as did the kitchen maker, but we're off. A lot of left in that breeze.
Yep, it's tripped left and light in the last 20 minutes.
Yandu has tacked as well. He was buried there. But down at the leeward end is Smeg.
And if you look at that shot, you'd say Smeg's in pretty good shape, wouldn't you, Pete?
That's where I would have started.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
I told you that.
No, it's actually bent too far. I think Smeg's got to get on the port about now.
Yes,
Here he
which he
goes.
does. Yep.
Yep.
And he will.
Breeze-
Not the greatest attacks. The breeze has quit up there.
Breeze is northerly now, not northeast.
Yes. So he's struggling to get across the fleet here. He's going to take some sterns. Michelane and steering Smeg today. So look at these boats up. A couple of boats are almost capsized to windward. There's just run out of pressure down that leeward end. You've got to get out of here quickly. And again, it looks like the race leaders are Rag and Famish and Andu. You won't want to go too far on starboard here.
Yeah, but they've got more lane than the guys to leeward of them. Lazarus and Turon Partners.
Okay.
You can see on screen there the Rag in the absolute high mode, trying to do some damage to Andu.
Got tricky. The breeze is left and down pressure.
Yep.
It's Rag and Famish trying to hold Andu out.
Doing a pretty good job. They still know the advantage to be left here, Peter, so...
You won't want to go too far. That's the thing. You can suck you in over here. If you go too far, you'll get absolutely hammered. But the moment the Rags come round the bow of Andu thinking about attack, I would say, there he goes. And you'd think Rag won't be long before he tacks.
Yeah, no, the Rag will go to the next line, just coming to him off the headland now. There he goes now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. On the face of a good path and wind bending left, Pete, so that'll end well, I think. And they've got a good lead, haven't they?
Yeah, but he hasn't got much pressure here.
No, but it's coming.
Yeah,
Lightened off up the harbour.
Yes.
It's like back up towards Manly.
So whatever thermal influence there was is abated, I'd suggest.
So there's Yandu coming across. He looks very strong.
I think he's seeing what was going on with Andu and Rag and Famish, and he flopped over and went out to pipe it literally by himself and get out of that mess. And
I mean, Jimmy, you'd imagine when you're the Rag and Famish, has got a pretty good high slow mode, and Woody doesn't like doing that at all.
So Rag will cross the fleet here to lead the day's first race winner, but close with Andu. There's Andu and Yandu. Swap sides. Breeze a bit more stable as they come out towards Shark Island.
Yeah, breeze perhaps down to 13 knots now, I'd say. 12, 14 perhaps.
just in the background of this shot, you'll see the 18-footer bar and restaurant just around to your left there, Alex, and without a rudder. Well, they've got one now.
Oh, they've got to put it back on. Didn't tie the pin down.
So that's their day well and truly over.
Now, the boat that's gone hardest to the right is Marcus Ashley Jones into Lazarus. He's standing right in towards Shark Island, so he'll need a good right-hander to come back on because the breeze is generally left. There's Marcus there, or Lazarus, just going in below the ferry. Shaw and Partners behind him. Yeah, they're looking for some relief to come back on. They're not getting it at the moment. The Royal Oak Tax. Noakes Blue with Noddy Hay in the bow. He'll sleep well tonight. There's Lazarus here.
On the main ship, I think, Pete.
On the main, was he? I thought
No, be in the bow for sure.
Okay, well, here's Lazarus. He's gone hard right. Not that much pressure, but he doesn't look that bad, actually. If he gets a couple of little right-hand sniffs, he'll be right in the game. It's a big split. He's right at Shark Island, and the Rag and Famish right on Bradley's head, but it'll all depend on what Rag comes back with. But Lazarus is bow down, actually.
Yeah, hard to get across from here.
But he's not out of it.
You're not out of it. Less tax, maybe. Good current, maybe. But the current's pretty even across the track here. So
The group that went left off camera at the moment is led by Rag and Famish, Andu, Smeg and Yandu. You'll see them in a moment. If we just go left a little bit, there's Rag and Famish now. There's Yandu. And Lazarus looks okay at the moment. There's not going to be much in it. So it's a good race.
I think you'll find, Peter, that Yandu is in front of Lazarus.
I don't know about that.
No, nor do I.
It's just got a little tickle of right hand now, Lazarus.
It's close, isn't it?
Yeah, no, he's ahead of Yandu.
Just. Yandu has to duck.
That's all you got to be, just.
Yeah. And in the far background there, Rag and Famish still standing on starboard, Yandu coming off the headland on
So what do you make of that? No side was really favoured. It's just...
let's see what
maybe
happens.
Rag, I think Rag will clearly lead. Look at that now.
Rag's going to lead easily.
Lazarus was a long way back off the start.
Yep.
Is Yandu now going to the right? So on the water, I think it'd be Rag and Famish, Andu, Lazarus, Yandu, Smeg, perhaps.
Yeah, Sure and Partners, Birkenhead.
So they're going to three different marks up here, depending on your handicap. And we know that the Rag is going to the middle mark.
Yep.
Andu is going to the furthest mark. Lazarus is going to the middle mark. Yandu, the middle mark. We're watching Andu. Yandu is tacked. There's Andus and Yandus everywhere. So that's Smeg just. It's going to be a tight cross for Smeg, but he's okay. And then next out is Andu with Sevi Jarvan steering. Josper, Matt Stenter and Harry Smith, the crew today. With Herman winning not well and Sam Newton away on Sail GP duties as they're just starting to wind up here, Andu. They've had a pretty solid beat. So they're not far off a ley line. There they go, actually. They go to the furthest mark. Oh, just some bad waves they tacked in.
Wow.
That didn't help them. But we've got a good race here.
Yeah.
But it'll all split up because they're going to different marks. Lazarus would be third on the water behind Andu, sorry. Oh no, Smeg. Oh, Lazarus had to tack under Smeg. Oh, that was costly. So Andu would lead on the water. He would cross Rag and Famish, but because Rag's going to the middle mark, advantage to the Rag. Smeg's had a good beat with Mick Lane steering.
Pete, what's the dynamic here is the breeze fading pretty quickly.
Yes.
And so the guys with the bigger jibs, which include Andu and Yandu.
So Birkenhead Point leads because he's gone to the shortest mark. Smeg was next, then Rag and Famish, then Yandu, then Andu. And Lazarus just got a bit chicken winged up there towards the approaches to the weather mark. Okay, we're off downwind with the Birkenhead boys in front. Kirk Mitchell steering the Birkenhead. Oh, poor old Andu's got a bit of a twisteroo in his spinnaker. Oh, it's still not coming out.
Yeah. Need more.
Oh, it's a good one.
More silicon lube, boys.
Yeah, that's a good one. Still not out.
It's almost a jibe, that one, to get that one out.
I think it is, Jimmy, or 3 feet ahead you to the quick ease. He can't jibe though, too many boats in the way.
Yeah, he is.
There it goes. Decided it would be alright.
Come out? Yes, it did.
Works every time, doesn't it, Pete?
Yeah, follow me for more tips, Bucko.
You never had any to get out though, did you, mate?
No.
There's Birkenhead on the screen.
Okay, there's Kirk Mitchell. He leads down the first run. Had a good solid beat. Went to the shortest mark, which was his handicap offset. Running in towards Bradley's head. And right up his exhaust pipe is Mick Lane in Smeg. Probably Yandu and then Rag and Famish, who's done a big split. Rag and Famish gone down the left-hand side, looking downwind, looking for pressure. These boats are now looking for pressure. It's died quite dramatically, this breeze. Yandu getting set up for a jibe. Lazarus above them. They jibe. there's the 2 leaders. That's Birkenhead to right, Smeg on the first of 3 downwind legs.
They're not racing, Chits.
Nice pressure now. It's up again a little, probably 12 knots.
Sort of a reversion to the channeling wind down the middle of the harbour.
Yeah, that was funny off the start, wasn't it?
Yep.
Really squirrely.
Breeze up a little bit, the direction back to the kind of 030 type heading.
So you'll see the black spinnaker coming in of Rag and Famish. Yandu's got to collapse his spinnaker to let Rag go through. So Rag is 3rd on the water, just ahead of Yandu and Lazarus. So the approach to this gate will be interesting. It's Birkenhead top, just jibing. Can they cross Smeg? I don't think they will. It's going to be close.
No, and they're sailing too slowly, Pete. The
Smeg will have to jibe before they get there. Okay. Birkenhead, can they get through to Leeward? It's going to be tough. But they're laying into this gate, the right-hand end of the gate, looking downwind.
And Smeg going to soak down.
Yeah, they've got to soak.
And they've got a good bit of puff to get the bow down.
And they will lead round. They've got room on Birkenhead, Point Marina. Birkenhead hanging onto that chute. Smeg, nice tidy job.
World-class drop from Tommy Anderson there.
Yep, first class indeed.
Made it disappear with
Rag getting in 3rd. Yandu's doing a jibe to go to the left-hand mark, the last minute.
He liked that every time last race, Pete. He went to that mark.
Very nice drop on the Rag and Famish also.
Yep, they're good. They're 3rd, just round the mark at the same time as Yandu, and Lazarus will be next. In the Kitchen Maker, they've done okay. And then that's the Kitchen Maker just dropping their chute. Then Fisher Paykel, the first race, they got 2nd. They're well back, but there's Andu coming in, just dropping their spinnaker now. Paid a heavy price for going to the furthest mark. That's their handicap penalty. Fisher Paykel running square. Good job on Sevi Jarvan on Andu to sneak inside Kitchen Maker. Shaw and Partner have gone to the other mark, if you're wondering where they are, as is the Royal Oak. And here come a couple of guys barrelling in. The Noakes Blue. Nathan McNamara at the helm and the Burrowang, Simon Nern. And what's the breeze, Andrew? Lucky to be 12 knots, wouldn't it?
Absolutely, 12 knots, Pete. Spot on, mate.
Yeah. See how light it is here.
So, Jimmy, who are we going to give the tidiness bottom mark rounding award to?
It wouldn't be the Burrowang at the moment.
Andu or Rag and Famish?
Oh, Tommy Anderson had an all right one.
Yeah, no, Tommy did too. You're quite right.
Here's the Burrowang. Here she comes. Rhys Cleary working overtime in the bow. Says, why am I doing this? Not in the halyard. There it goes. One of the great characters of the sport. The Rissole. There they go, on their way towards Bradley's Head for the 2nd of 3 beats. So it's 4 o'clock local time here in Sydney. The breeze hanging in, but certainly not as strong as we've seen it.
So what adjustments are they doing now? Buggo on board with all the levers and bits and pieces to power the rig up?
Yeah, well, they'd be going to not quite dead soft rig tension, but 80% of the way to dead soft. So that straightens the lower mast, sags the headstay a little bit, deepens both sails incrementally, and less Cunningham eye. which also straightens the mast a little and deepens, particularly the head of the mainsail, and reduces the twist. And that's good enough. Those two adjustments are good enough. And a bit of vang to go with it, but the vang's kind of a bit of a balancing item in all that.
Bit of the conventional stuff as well.
So a bit of crossing action coming up, but Smeg looking pretty strong.
Yep. Birkenhead second, Yandu third, Rag fourth, Lazarus fifth on the water. So again, Birkenhead will go to the middle mark and Smeg will go to the furthest mark. So that'll change things maybe marginally.
And the Smeg tacking back onto starboard to go to what they think is the normal favoured side, the left side of the track looking upwind. And letting Birkenhead Point go.
Yeah, well, Birkenhead's going harder to the right into Shark Island, but Smeg, Rag and Famish, Yandu, Lazarus, all going left. There's the channel marker at Bradley's Head. Birkenhead just tacked to come back. So all the front runners on starboard now. There's a good shot of the Rag. First race winner today.
So on the Rag today in the main sheet, Angus Williams standing in for Josh McKnight. But a very capable stand-in, Gussie. And they've sailed really well today, haven't they, Pete?
Absolutely. In that first race, they were at some terrific speed. Just,
but also pretty clean. One little error in the second race. Did a pretty bad job the last time into the bottom, but that breeze softening and leaving a little more, Pete. So right down on the rig settings, mate.
the boat that's sneaking through well is Yandu. He's ahead of now the Rag. Oh, they're tacked under the Rag, which is interesting.
No, they weren't crossing. They couldn't force the duck.
Well, they were starboard tack.
Yeah, but they weren't going to hit him, I don't think.
We'll see Birkenhead in a second here. Went out to the right, as you said, Pete.
Yeah.
Good race.
He's still hanging in there, Birkenhead. He will... Tough whether he'll cross there. I think he might get across here.
He's close,
will.
isn't he?
Yeah, he will.
I think
Starboard tack rights, yep. There he goes. Oh, he tacked
Ah.
under them as well. Okay. I'll come back and on starboard on the lay line, perhaps.
That's a new idea, Pete, isn't it?
Well, not a new idea. It's been around for 100 years, but...
Well, 1,000 years since you were a boy, more or less.
Yeah, absolutely.
Close race.
So that's the battle for second, third, and fourth.
Yep.
Yandu just sneaking his nose out in front of the Rag. Up to windward is Smeg. So a fine job, Mika Lane, for Coco, Michael Coxon. You'll see shortly, there's a fleet that are chasing Smeg. It's Rag. Will be first to, he's got back on starboard. Smeg will be across and will lead.
But he goes to the long mark, Pete. And the Rag and Famish go to the middle mark.
Yeah, well, that'll change a few things around. Birkenhead goes middle. Yandu goes middle. Lazarus goes middle. Bit breeze up again here. Fairly choppy water.
Pretty bumpy water, Pete. Breeze back up a bit, you're right. But
Okay, there's the Rag is tacked. It's going to be quite interesting here.
Well, this is the lane line right.
Where's Birkenhead? They look pretty strong here. They were going to the middle mark. It's a pretty tight lay though, I think. Yandu trying to squeeze around their bow.
Oh,
But Smeg's a clear ahead across the fleet.
the same mark, Pete. So
Yeah.
if I think Birkenhead's laying. Anyway, we'll see. But and Andu body language says they're laying as well.
Smeg's going to the furthest mark. The Rag is going to the middle mark.
And they will be first on the water.
They will after we go around the mark. Smeg will cross them, but the difference between the marks is enough to hand the advantage back to the Rag. She will cross ahead of Yandu, so she will be first around, as Andrew said. Smeg's giving a lot away here by going to this, which she has to go to the furthest mark. Okay, the Rag, you'll see her just pull away with Yandu right up her exhaust pipe. So if the Rag leads round, Yandu will be second, Birkenhead will be third, and then Smeg fourth. Good set on the Rag.
Yep. Off and rolling. Not too bad on the Yandu either.
And good one on the Smeg.
And the Birkenhead a bit beat in the sandwich here.
Yeah, so she'll be sort of fourth. Smeg's rolling over the top of her, followed by Lazarus, then Shaw and Partners, then Andu having to do the hard yards and go to the furthest mark again. Oh, poor old Birkenhead's got a bit of a problem.
Sticky Spinnaker,
Yeah, stuck to the headsail. So the Rag, as she did in the first race today, leads, but not much in it between Yandu and Smeg in second and thirds. There's a great overhead shot of Rag.
Woody can sort of hang into where he is there at the moment, going for the next lot of top marks. I think it almost becomes advantage to Yandu there.
He goes to the middle mark next time, Jimmy, doesn't he?
Yeah, and the Rag to the long mark by memory.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Travelling with Smeg, but in bottom of screen there, top of screen. The ferry just putting a bit of dirty here on the Rag, so they jibe off. Potentially bad air and wash. And the Smeg chosen to go past it, driving in at the headland here, the Rag off on port jibe. Nice jibe on the Smeg.
And you'll see there's Birkenhead Point, just almost jibing on the same track as Smeg. So they are fourth. Lazarus trying to roll down over the top of Birkenhead. Fair bit of split there, but
Just noticed on Lazarus Spinnaker right on the clue bucko, all the holes there.
Got a little nick, yep.
okay, the race is on to the Leeward gate for the second time. Yandu throwing down the challenge to Rag and Famish. Birkenhead fourth. Good breeze now, they're almost full biff. 2/3 the way down this second run of three. One more beat and then a run to the finish. Lazarus and Birkenhead.
very mid-rangey, sort of 12 to 14 now. Boat's pretty comfortable cruising downwind and no longer at 25 knots.
No, rag jiving in the background. Now, what's the manoeuvre here? He'll cross Yandu.
Yeah. Jibe angle in his wind speed about 75 degrees, so less than you might imagine.
So we've got about 150 metres to go to the gate. Just coming around the western end of Point Pivo.
Bit of cruising boat traffic.
Smeg, Rag and Famish looks as though going to the right-hand mark. Nice lay line.
Yeah, pretty efficient lay line. Either mark, in fact, I'd say, Pete. Yeah. They're going to do a jibe drop.
Oh, yeah, they are. They're going to the left-hand mark, okay.
Yeah. Well, the jibe drop's a little bit cleaner, yeah? If he thinks the marks are basically even, upwind, downwind, the jibe drop's a little bit
Yandu's
better.
coming in like a rocket here. They're doing the same manoeuvre.
Yeah.
Bit of pressure on the crew, but
Preferred thing.
well, Smeg's going to the other mark.
Not much wind at the mark itself, though.
No,
Pete.
there's plenty of wind where Smeg's going.
Yeah.
It's a little isolated puff.
So expect the rag just to get the full pressure and tag as soon as they get settled.
Yeah, Smeg's a lot more pressure here. They're around. Nice job. It's great crew work on the Smeg today. Birkenhead will be next around. He's going to the right-hand mark. And Lazarus going to the other mark. And then Andu follows in, Fisher Paykel. And breeze is generally down here. Look at this Birkenhead just waddling down to this mark. Spinnaker's in the boat. They're on the wind for the last time. Andu going to the left-hand mark.
Windward side drop, which is a little bit more difficult, but they've decided that's the right mark to go to. Fair enough.
Shaw and Partners behind them. Oh, a late drop on Fisher Paykel at the other mark. Ooh. Anyway, he's got a bit of work to do.
Very late.
Yeah, let the kitchen maker slide inside him. Breeze down again, Andrew. Lucky to be 12 knots here.
Yeah, just at 12, I'd say. So now a little bit of game of find the wind. It'll be interesting to see what happens here when the two leaders sort of come back together.
It's been a massive split. Rag and Famish hard right, Smeg hard left, with Yandu has gone right. Andu's going right. There's Smeg and Birkenhead.
Rag and Famish and Yandu just 3 strings, just full
Yeah.
pressure. You'd think that Smeg might gain a bit from having gotten into the ebb flow and the slightly stronger pressure on the left side.
Rag and Famish really struggling for pressure there.
Yeah.
They're all quite bouncy, the harbour too. A lot of sort of
Wind against tide, there's a lot of it, Pete. There's not too many of your old fan club out here.
No, there's not today.
No, the Commonwealth Club cancelled its meeting today.
Yeah.
Didn't you know that?
But still a bit joggly, this water.
And the major trophy for the year's already been awarded, you know. To last
Yeah,
week.
he was a winner last week.
Yeah.
But that's the Rag going in, and Smeg's now coming back on port, a long way away up at Bradley's Head. You'll see them shortly. There they are. What do we think?
Rag's in front. But pressure all over the track, not quite what it was.
Yeah, the Rag struggling for pressure. Yandu up on his hip, just to the right. You can't see Yandu yet.
Well, maybe.
Smeg's There's Yandu. Smeg will cross. Smeg
How
will
about
cross. Yeah.
Come on, a couple of boat lengths.
So what do? Do you go back?
You got to go back to the left, Pete.
Okay.
You got to go back. Clearly more wind on the left. So we said maybe you're going to find the wind.
Well, they do now. Look at
Yep.
these boats are really struggling for pressure.
So looking for mainsail depth.
Meanwhile, the one boat that's gone furthest left is the Birkenhead.
And he's in the hunt.
He's certainly in the hunt.
Yeah.
He's done a pretty good job today, Kirk Mitchell, and if he can keep the boat upright. He's been there or thereabouts most of the races, or the two races. He'll go behind, you'll see him in a moment, come across. Oh, there's Yandu's tacking.
Yandu didn't like the look of following the exhaust pipe of the rag there.
There's Birkenhead coming in on port behind Smeg. That's the fairway boy at Bradley's Head. Breeze is up again a bit. Probably
No.
11 knots.
12, 11.
11 and a half.
11.2.
Thank you. So that's a good race. Notwithstanding they all go into different marks, it's a good race on the water. And that's what the handicap's meant to do. Everyone's meant to finish together. First to Bradley's will be the rag. And she will cross Smeg. It's Yandu and Birkenhead going out in the middle on port.
Good river running around the corner here, Pete. They don't need to go all the way though. Here they go.
Okay, there's the rag. Will they cross Smeg?
No, Smeg's going to cross them. Not by much.
Just take a little duck.
Yeah, and that's okay. That gets them rolling again anyway.
Put the foot down. Chop they go through. Smeg not far off attack here.
So
3, 2, 1. Let's do it, boys.
Have a look at the mud bank.
There they go.
Nicker went snorkelling over here to know how shallow it is.
Yeah.
Now, the question will be how are the Birkenhead and Yandu going to make out that are kissing Shark Island?
Well, Pete, is it clear or not that there's more pressure on the left? I think it's clear.
Yeah, they are on the screen. So
Yeah.
they look like they've got a little bit more pressure there than most certainly the rag and famish.
Let's have a look at the Smeg's rig here, guys. You know, he's certainly deepened up, hasn't he? And main bolted in. A little bit of headstay sag. So,
I think
running.
the boats that went right, I think they've done okay. You'll see them in a moment. They're certainly not out of it, that's for sure.
So these two boats are going to the red mark, the furthest mark,
Yep.
and the two that are
Go to the middle mark. So advantage Yandu and Birkenhead here because they go to the middle of 3 and they're in front on the water. Yandu leads on the water, I'd say, looking back.
I don't think so, Pete.
Come on, look at that. I can... Look at that. Okay, come on. They're Yandu's miles ahead.
Depends how much left is in the
Well,
next
that's right.
pathway. Maybe he is, I don't know.
Birkenhead's across too. You see Yandu poke out there. You go, look at that, Bucker.
I'm just waiting for the bow to come down, Jibbers.
What, on Yandu or Smeg?
On Yandu.
It's not going to come down.
You reckon? Smeg's bow up now, high left.
Still backing Yandu.
Hey, all right then.
Oh, I don't know.
You sure?
No,
No, good.
but it won't be much in it.
No, there won't be much in it. Quite correct. No, Smeg still leads just, I think. The breeze structurally is just bending a little bit more left, Pete. Hard.
Structurally, I'm going for Yandu, whatever that means.
Yeah, right, fair enough.
Okay, he's a cross rag. Will you give me that?
Yeah, I'll give you that.
And he'll be a cross Smeg. Will you give me that?
Maybe.
What do you mean, maybe? Look at that. Look. What are you looking at now? Yes.
I'll take you back to the paint shop, Shiver, and get his eyes painted back on for him.
3 boat lengths cross, Pete.
This is a good race.
Yeah.
Between these 4, really. Birkenhead, he's gone to the left again. He's zigzagging up this beat, Kirk Mitchell. he certainly doesn't commit to a side.
Well, attacking is quite expensive, Pete, so, you know, the right answer is not to try not to attack too many times.
So remember, advantage here, although he leads on the water, Yandu will be with Yandu and Birkenhead because they both go to the middle of these 3 marks.
Yeah.
And that is a significant advantage. It's about 40 metres upwind of the furthest mark is upwind of the middle mark. So you've got to sail a bit of extra distance, 40 plus.
Ooh, it's getting willing
Windward.
here.
Okay, Smegs dumped on the rag,
Close covering tack on the rag.
and Yandu will have extended by going to the left a little.
So I think Yandu's a little faster through the water, Pete.
Yes, yeah.
Yep.
So she's going to tack on the bow of these 2 boats because she's going to the middle mark. Oh, it's got light again. So that's around this mark and the run to the finish. Now, can Yandu lay? Is he laying? I think he is. Struggling for pressure here. Yep, Yandu will lay nicely. Nice job. There's the mark coming into play in a moment. There it is. Spinning her up and run to the finish. And Smeg's still got another 30 or 40 seconds before he gets round the mark. His mark is the furthest mark. Yandu's set and on their way.
Hard to see him getting run down, Pete.
You wouldn't think so, but stranger things have happened as Birkenhead will get round in 2nd spot. Because he's going to the middle of 3 marks.
A rag and famish and Smeg, 3rd, 4th, 4th, 3rd.
Smeg will be 3rd. Okay, there's the Birkenhead. Let's get the set done, boys.
Windward set with that sticky sheet.
Stick to the jib again. Oh. Come on, boys, get it done. Sheet on. Not much wind, although Yandu's got plenty. Good puff to run away in. Smeg's around with a good set, 3rd. Rag and Famish round the furthest mark, 4th. Then Lazarus. Okay, here goes Yandu. He's the series leader going into today's 2 races. He got a 4th in the 3rd in the first race, so things are looking pretty promising here. Now the thing is, can Smeg run down Birkenhead Point Marina? That's the question for 2nd. You'd have to think that Yandu's pretty comfortable out there. He's got a good 80-metre lead. You can see the breeze is down.
Tell you who's still out here. Shibbo's the 29er. He's still going. That
Still, jeez, that's like he's sailing. Now it's all about the pressure game here because there's a few voids in this wind. You can see Yandu, John Wynn just sitting in now, just a little bit of a gust.
Downrange VMG mode, just using about 90% of the full rotting moment.
Nice and comfortable. Birkenhead just jibing. Went a bit, he's hunting for pressure.
Very sick now.
Yeah.
look up, boys. Look at that mainsail.
Yeah. Mainsail's still inverted. There it goes. Smeg's coming down with a bit more pressure, but it'll get to Birkenhead shortly.
Yeah, Smeg's done a good job here, Pete. Bought that one with him.
So Rag and Famish will be 4th. Ferry coming down from Manly, which could affect a couple of back markers. So they're halfway down this run, to the finish. Birkenhead 2nd, Smeg 3rd.
there's those 29ers just there, Pete, in the middle of the screen.
Yep. Boys having fun. Well, hopefully one day they'll graduate into the 18-footers.
Probably sooner than we think, mate, I would say. Go from a 29er to an 18, no worries.
Henry Larkin, the boys have done it, so...
Yeah.
There's Yandu. She's done a pretty good job. They've kept in reasonable pressure. They'll go a bit further, probably another 100 metres or so, and jibe and almost lay into the finish. Maybe 2 and in. Birkenhead holding off the challenge of Smeg. There's Rag and Famish, the first race winner. Yandu, he's still a little way to go, I think, before he jibes. He's starting to think about it, but just running down, here he goes now, I'd say. Very clean jibe. The crew of Fang Warren, his parents over from Western Australia, watching keenly from the ferry. And Joss Ebsky in the bow. And a pretty good crew for John Winning as he's approaching the finishing line. It'll be 1 and in from here, I would think. Birkenhead still maintaining second position. So that was a pretty good race, wasn't it? Upwind, especially. Lead changed a number of times. So Yandu now about 40 seconds away from victory. Very, very good performance by this crew who have been thereabouts all season. Had a disaster last week when Woody's trapeze harness broke, his hook broke. They're going to lay through on this jibe. So a very consistent year so far. And here they go now, about 2 boat lengths to go. 3, 2, 1, they're over. Well done. Good effort from the Yandu. And here's the battle for second, which is a good one between Birkenhead and Smeg. And Birkenhead should get there, I think, Andrew. Yes, they will.
Yeah, no worries there.
Smeg will be third, but Birkenhead will get across in second spot.
Smeg, nice work though, getting into the pin end here without another jibe, and we can suggest to the viewers that Smeg has nominally fastest time for this race.
Well, it's hard to judge because they're going to different marks.
Well, taking their nominal amount of handicap, Peter. You know,
I'll have to think about that. Nominal. Anyway.
Yeah.
So the Rag, after winning this morning's or today's first race, they will be fourth. And it's light again. Look at these boats. They're just
The rich got richer today, Pete.
really looking for the pressure.
Yeah.
The Rag jibing. They've got lay into the finish. And who's next? Fifth's going to be a good battle. Maybe the Royal Oak.
So yeah, fastest time nominally to the Smeg and Rag and Yandu.
So fourth,
Close.
Rag and Famish. Not there yet. Very close. They're there now.
And they're not disgraced off scratch.
No, and here comes who's Kitchen Maker jibed early, probably a bit too early.
Got to be ambitious.
Yeah, who's going to... Fisher Paykel might get next. Let's see what we've got here. 5th, 6th. Fisher... Oh.
Fisher Paykel, Kitchen Maker, Royal Oak is the way I sort of see it there, Pete.
Royal Oak, yeah.
That'll do.
Close between Fisher Paykel and Kitchen Maker.
Short half head.
And then who we got?
Lazarus.
Lazarus.
And Andu coming in on a
hot.
very hot low line into the community.
Andu.
All good.
And Shaw and Partners will be 10th. So they're two very, very exciting races. The three boys certainly changes the things up immeasurably each time.
And the sprint course is putting premium on turning the corners. Yeah. So one fastest time probably today to Rag and Famish, and the other one to the Smeg. And neither Andu or Yandu too far out of it either on the just time around the track.
So there's 3 boats still to finish. The Barrawang, and this is Noakes Blue will be next.
And Lazarus Developments.
Noakes
Just
Blue.
up off.
Then the Barrawang, and then Noakes Blue will be our final finisher, I think. So that finishes today's 2 races. We're just recapping for you if you've just joined us or joined us late. First race today, 3-lap Windward Leeward, 3-boy handicap race. Rag and Famish was first. Fisher Paykel was second. Yandu 3rd. Lazarus 4th. Andu 5th. Shaw and Partners 6th. Smeg 7th. Royal Oak 8th. Balmain Slake 9th. And Barrawang 10th. And Birkenhead 11th. Second race today, Yandu was first. So a good day for Yandu, a first and a third. Second was Birkenhead, 3rd Smeg, 4th Rag and Famish, 5th Fisher Paykel, close with the Kitchen Maker. 7th was the Royal Oak, 8th Lazarus, 9th Andu, 10th Shaw and Partners, 11th Noakes Blue, 12th the Barrawang, and 13th was Noakes Blue. So that wraps it up from the harbour today. A funny sort of day, fully overcast, the breeze up and down, but got to about 15, 16 knots at times, but settled back at anywhere between 10 and 12. So 2 very exciting races. We'll be back next week, same time, same place, same station. Hope you've enjoyed it today. On behalf of all the Sale Media boys, we thank you for watching us, and great job again by all the technical boys behind the scenes. Great drone shots, great camera work, all coordinated by Chit, so well done to his team. So on behalf of Jimmy Bury and Andrew Buckland, Peter Shipway signing off from Sydney Harbour, and we look forward to your company next Sunday.